Welcome back to part two of the Women Entrepreneurship Founder Series with Isis Ashford. Tell me a little bit about your inspirations along the way. Who really inspires you? Because being an entrepreneur, it's a hard, emotionally, as well as it's a roller coaster of ups and downs, twists and turns, loop-de-loops, sideways sometimes.
Yeah, so I get a lot of my inspiration from my mother and my grandmother. So my grandmother was born in 1932, and she is one of six people, and she lives in a one-bedroom apartment. And but all of her siblings were able to go to college and to go off and do great things. But she often told me in her time, you didn't always get the opportunity to do what you wanted. You have to do what is best for your family, and how do you provide for them and put food on the table. So one of her dreams was to become a lawyer, but unfortunately, her parents didn't have enough money to send her, to law school. And then after that, after she finished college, she got pregnant with my mom and my aunt, and she had to take care of two kids. And so a lot of the time she chose opportunities that were financially, stable or sustainable, for her family, but not the things that she dreamed about. So when I finally came into the picture, in all of our conversations, and I, shared with her like my dreams. I'm like, entrepreneurship is super risky. Like, I think I should, try to go work for Google and learn a little bit more. And she was like, Isis, like, what do you think I was doing the whole time when I was providing for, your mother? Like, I wasn't chasing my dreams. I was putting food on the table so you wouldn't have to. You don't have any children. You don't have any responsibilities. So why don't you think now is the time to actually pursue, your wildest dreams? Because you can always go back and, get that safety net. But right now, you don't need one. And I really took that to heart. And every day I try to think about that every time, I get, too emotionally wrapped up in like whatever, is going on with the business. And I realized like my granny didn't have this opportunity. And even with my mom, she didn't have the same opportunity because, her mother couldn't support her financially if she chose to take that risk. And so again, it kind of falls on me. It was like, if you're going to pursue your dreams, like this is it. Like everyone else has been, sacrificing and saving and praying over you so you can be exactly who God meant for you to be. And, the times where I feel like as entrepreneurs, we don't talk about this enough, but it's okay to break down. It is okay to get in that ball, cry your eyes out, but it's okay. It is okay. You have to persevere, and you have to think about what puts you in this place, right? And everything is working for your best good. And so don't think about like how you're messing up, but think about how many mistakes that you're going to recognize after this. And you're going to say, oh, next time I'm probably not going to say that, or I'm not going to mention this, or I'm not going to wear, these heels where I have to walk around 10 rooms and try to meet and greet people. So, you'll also get better with time. But going back to the question, my mom and my granny, because of their sacrifice and because of their support, and what I want to do has really inspired me to like go full throttle with it. And, sometimes we take that stuff for granted, but, that's really, like they've invested all of their time and energy to make sure like a lot of the things that they had to do, you don't have to. So I'm gonna say they're my biggest inspirations.
That's nice to hear. And it's also, what comes out in when you talk is the optimism and positive outlook, even when there are things that you would see as an error or a mistake. That you can learn from them, and you've got a great attitude that comes across. And I think that that's wonderful to share, and that is inspiring to others, because I think sometimes as women, we in events that are supporting women, we all talk about challenges, but that tends to come across a little bit pessimistic. And really, there is an awful lot of optimism in the roles and the advances and the progress and the everyday wins that we're making. And so I love hearing that in your voice.
Yeah, and really, like, we have to stop making wins. Say like, oh, I raised $1 million. A win is that you paid your expenses and you're here. That's a win. Okay. A win is today you didn't cry. Win. Okay. It's a win. You know, you sat in your chair, you asked the questions, you put yourself out there, and maybe, you know, they didn't like it, but still you had the courage to say, you know, the things that you really needed to know. Win. And, you know, I make myself every day, like, it's a challenge because, you know, we all think that happiness, again, just comes to us. No, happiness is forced. Like, I have to force myself to every day, like, how can I make you smile? Like, how can I make you laugh? Because, you know, with all the problems that you're going to be bombarded with, like, they're going to do their job and trying to convince you this is not for you and all the other stuff. But it's all about your belief in yourself and your faith system. And if you know that this is truly for you, like, all of that is going to be so irrelevant. And like, I record myself now in like my toughest moments with like my snot bubbles, so I can go back. And it's funny because this always happens. Like, you can go back to that problem and then you see like, oh, it was actually really, really small. Like, it actually costs you nothing. That's no zeros. Like, it's no, you know, financial. Sometimes it is when you go to LA and pitch and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, when you think about the bigger scheme of things and where you're going, it's really small potatoes.
I like the way that you provide a scale to it, and even a dollar amount that says this cost me nothing. What's the $1 million problem versus what's the $250 problem? Where do you put your attention, your time, and the focus? And that certainly, you know, is incredibly valuable beyond the money.
Yeah, exactly. You have to stay sane, man, and put things in perspective.
What is some advice that you would give to young entrepreneurs that maybe haven't started their own business, they maybe have an idea in the back of their mind and think that this might be something they want to pursue? What kinds of advice would you give them?
Think big, start small. And so that's kind of like, what does that even mean? But it's like, yeah, have that $1 billion dream. Mm-hmm. But yeah, start selling lemonade. So you can get like in the mindset of like how this entrepreneurship thing works. And like, after you sell lemonade, sell shirts. After you sell shirts, maybe you know, go to school for engineering and you want to do software development. Start building apps for people, and something super small that you can do on your own, because the innovation is one piece, but running a business is another. So you can be really innovative and be really poor. Okay. And then you can really, you know, have a great business acumen, but you're missing the innovation piece. So kind of figure out how you can balance both at the same time, which I know is extraordinarily hard. But I mean, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, is like, if it was super easy, everyone would be doing it. But also for those people who are like, oh, a little hesitant about starting, I got a little words of wisdom for you. And everybody's situation is different. Everybody's journey is different. So really do what's best for you. But think about like the thing that you're doing for safety and security. Are you going to be happy with yourself after 30 years? Like, are you going to be in retirement thinking, oh my God, I made such an impact. Like, I really pushed myself full throttle. Or are you full of regrets? And it's the regret for me that's so terrifying. And I guess it's because, you know, like, I have my mother and my grandmother telling me all the things they wish they could have done and how sad they are because they weren't able to do that because of the, you know, obligations that they had to tend to. And hopefully that's not your situation. But even if it is, be creative in how you know, attack your ultimate goal. So, you know, don't be hesitant. We all have a parachute, and I know it's kind of crazy. So let me draw the analogy for you. So as entrepreneurs, we're sitting on this cliff, right? And we're all looking down. It's 30,000 feet down, long way. Okay. So you're looking at the clouds, but you know, there's concrete at the bottom. at any moment, you feel like you're going to splat and just die and this is going to be terrible. But the crazy thing is, you hit so many like clouds on the way in which like you finally find your footing and like your parachute just opens and it's just crazy. And you're just thinking like, I was just going to fall on my head and just everything was just going to be over. And no, like all of those mistakes, all of those bumps along the road actually prepare you and teach you like, how do you open up that parachute? And I promise it will open as long as you're consistent and you give 100% every time. And then I kind of get the whole like 100% every day, Isis. Okay, do your best. How about that? Do your best every day. Try to give 100% because there are going to be days, and I have those days where like I only got 70% to give. And if that's what you got to give, you do your best with that 70%. But make sure, you bring that passion and your energy, every day. And I promise it will open. So just be courageous and start small. And if it's something that you're unsure about, get a mentor. I'm always available. I can open up my Calendly to you guys as well. If you just want to talk out some ideas or just kind of get a motivational speech for that, I'm very good with that. And I will tell you, like, let's make a plan in which you feel most secure, or talk to any mentor or friend and tell them like, I want to create a plan in which, I'm able to, if you have financial obligations that you have to take care of, like, let's figure out how we can do that along with my entrepreneurial aspirations. Like, how can I also fulfill that part? And I'm a planner. So if you can get that plan together, then I feel like you'll be most successful. But man, just do it. Just be like Nike.
I like the great advice. So you have to jump off the cliff, but you do it with a plan. You do it with some support, mentorship programs, and experiences that you've had, and that is what helps cushion the way down and help that parachute open. Well, thank you so much, Isis. This has been wonderful. We appreciate you sharing your story. It is very inspiring, and we wish you all of the best with Explosion Technology.
Well, thank you. And I wish you guys all the best. Y'all are doing incredible work. And, we talked about this before with women entrepreneurs. It's our time. This is our moment. We are going to take advantage of this, and we're not going to lose any steam. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing. You're bringing more women to the forefront, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this. So thank you.